What is happening, everybody? It's the Miami Football Fanatic here again. Happy to have you guys back for another video. And today, just gonna go over some quick Dolphins notes, just some things that have transpired over the week, and just giving some updates on players and what the coaches have been saying. So Devante Parker has injured his ankle again, which is just isn't a surprise. This guy's just so incredibly injury prone. He did re-injure it against Buffalo. Gase suggested that he would be fine for Sunday's game in Kansas City. Hopefully he can continue his solid play. Wasn't bad against the Patriots, 4 receptions for 40 yards, and then this past week against the Bills had a pretty solid game. I think he had 85 yards, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I just can't remember the exact number. Gase said at some point in the game he got rolled. It got rolled up on. Thought he was going to be alright. It just stiffened up on him, but it should be alright. Gase is saying so. Hopefully that's the case. And Devante Parker is fine to go against Kansas City and has another solid game. Some Dolphins fans have been wondering whether Laremy tunsil, who's been a bit inconsistent at tackle, we would be better off returning to guard, where he was pretty good as a rookie. Honestly, I think that really isn't going to happen. The Dolphins believe coming to the season that Tunsil would be, a solid, an all-pro, but, one of the best tackles in the league, one of the best left tackles in the league. And tackle is viewed, as a much more, position than guard, obviously, which hasn't been the case for us. Guards have been god-awful for the past, 4 or 5 years. But Clyde Christensen did describe that Laremy Tunsil's play this season has been merely adequate, and Miami expects much more from our top pick from last year. Clyde Christensen said Tunsil has had back-to-back rookie years, which I don't buy at all. In that he has played different positions each of his 2 seasons, which is just an absolutely ridiculous take. I don't buy that at all. If he is as talented, an offensive lineman we thought he was, he should be able to play multiple spots on the line. So doesn't matter where he is. He should have been back to, the comfort level, back to being a left tackle. Maybe it's the new techniques he's learned or something like that has, stunted his, great play. But Clyde Christensen said he's been good in run blocking. He's done both adequately, especially last week was really good. Tunsil said that he looks up to Dallas left tackle Tyron Smith, and Gase pointed to him as a type of player that Tunsil wants to be like, and that is who I compared him. Coming into last season and this season, he just reminded me a lot of him. His athleticism and just his overall just body type and his athleticism and his disposition out there reminded me a lot of Tyron Smith. Gase said it's one thing to play tackle in the SEC. It's a different animal at this level. You watch number 77, Tyron Smith, and he's just absolutely dominant. That's what he wants to strive for, Laremy Tunsil, to be that type of player. I know he's striving to be a consistent guy. He tells me all the time, don't worry about my side. He has the confidence to get it done one-on-one. It's another thing to say, don't worry about it, and it's another thing just to play like a pro bowler, which Tunsil hasn't done consistently. He has been flawless at times this year, but in other spots, not so much. Gase said that there are times when he looks like an alignment. There are times when he does exactly what you look for in an alignment, and other times he doesn't. And the Dolphins, and I know a lot of Dolphins fans, aren't happy with his 12 penalties, second most in the league. There is Clyde Christensen said there is a frustration level by him. You can't do that. It's been a point of emphasis, and he's been disappointing thus far. But Christensen suggests nobody should wonder if he's at the right position. He's a left tackle, which Christensen believes, and which I do agree with. There's no point of moving him back and forward from guard to left guard or He probably won't play the right side, but tackle and left guard. This draft, we just have to go ahead and take Quentin Nelson. With Julius Thomas out for the final two games, we could see some more of AJ Derby behind Anthony Fasano on Sunday. Gay said of Derby that he can catch and run and block. Honestly, I haven't really seen much of him this season because I didn't watch much of his play with Denver. We claimed him off waivers from Denver in November. He did catch 2 touchdown passes for the Broncos early this season, and he does have 200 yards receiving. So, hopefully he can be solid for us. Christensen said that Marquise Gray's snaps will increase as well, which should definitely happen. Marquise Gray really can do everything you want from a tight end. He can block, he can catch, and as we've seen, he's been getting these critical third down carries or fourth down carries. He's been almost like the fullback, and he's doing a good job of getting those first downs, getting those carries. So it's awesome to see. Just some things on Kenyon Drake. Christensen noting his improved maturity and wanting to get things right, said it's not that painful to be mature. He hasn't quite arrived yet. He's having fun with the role. He has a physicality to him. He takes pride in it. He had a couple of slip-ups that were embarrassing to him with fumbles, which we haven't seen now since he's been starting. He hasn't really fumbled at all since he's had those multiple... When he was fumbling pretty much every game after we traded JJ. He has a personality where he fixes things. Protection had a couple screw-ups early, and he fixed it. He takes pride in it, which is definitely correct. Some of the blocks that Kenyon Drake has been putting on, meeting linebackers, it's just absolutely awesome the way he's been blocking, because those linebackers or safeties, whatever, coming downhill, and Drake has been just doing an awesome job blocking for running back, and just shows how physical a player he is. Gay said Drake has a special ability to make cuts in small areas. He has incredible bursts, which is I couldn't agree with more. Yeah, just the way he comes in and out of cuts, in tight little windows and just makes defenders miss. It's just it's an unfair advantage out there. How agile and quick he is out there. He moves like a guy that's 5'8". It's really incredible. A guy of his size, 6'1", and I'm guessing this season he's probably playing at 215, 220. So he's not a small running back, but by no means. But that agility out there is very similar to Adrian Peterson very early in his career. Adrian Peterson-esque. The Dolphins went into the season determined to make a decision on whether defensive tackle Jordan Phillips is worth keeping around. And he definitely has done enough the past couple of weeks to convince them that he definitely is worth keeping for his fourth year. In fact, defensive coordinator Matt Burke said now he considers Phillips to be a reliable player, something coaches wouldn't necessarily have said in the past. His snap count was down a little bit last week, but he has been really good, Burke said. The 2 weeks before that, he was at his best in a long time. I feel he has been more consistent this year to the point where I had conversations with him. Hey man, you've got to be one of the leaders out there now. And he has found his way a little bit. Even last year, he wasn't as outgoing as he's been this year. And I am encouraging him to be more of an energy guy. Part of that comes with being consistent and being reliable, which he has been the past 3 or 4 weeks. Jordan Phillips has been just, flashing that dominant ability that we saw when he was coming out of Alabama. 6'6", 335 pounds. The guy is a physical marvel. Is finally playing up to his draft stock. Our defensive end Cameron Malvo and linebacker Stephon Anthony have made a case to have roles in 2017. An increased role in the last 2 games and maybe even next year. Burke said both have graded out well since being injected into the lineup. Anthony, finally was activated a month ago, and Malvo 2 weeks ago. Both have played very well for us, Burke said. Yeah, Malvo is kind of just a simple player. He's 6'5", 275 pounds. He plays with just brute strength out there, and it seems like when he gets those bull rushes going, he definitely knocks the offensive lineman into the quarterback's lap. So he does a great job of that. And Stephon Anthony, he looked good. He looks good in spurts. In Foxborough, he looked pretty good against the Broncos, but and then against the Patriots in Miami. But this past week for the Bills, he looked a bit clunky out there, just missing some assignments and showing why he was traded and he has struggled as a first round pick. But Stephon Anthony just has to stick to simple keys, simple reads, and just playing Sam linebacker where he should be, up on the line of scrimmage, rushing the quarterback, which he is pretty good at 6'3". So Stephon Anthony, we've got to simplify it for him. There's no point trying to inject him in as a middle linebacker or an outside linebacker, especially with Raekwon McMillan coming back next year. Raekwon McMillan is definitely going to just step in and command that Mike spot. So we've got to prepare Stephon Anthony to be the same linebacker. Not sure about the future of Timmons and Alonso. Most likely Alonso is probably going to stay, but hopefully we can upgrade the position. So because Timmons was looking dominant, he has been solid. He hasn't been that bad. Past those first 3 games, he really truly was dominant. But you could kind of see his age out there more. He isn't really moving around as fluidly, and his play speed isn't as great as it was earlier in the season. And Alonso, I can't see us cutting him because that would just it would only save like $2 million in savings, but it would be like a 13 mil. I read it somewhere, but just the cap hit would just be too great. There'd be way too much dead money in cutting him. Christensen said that the Dolphins don't want their players, reaching out for the pylon, when going for a touchdown. Would try to discourage it. It's very risky in his opinion, and you just have to be careful with the ball. We saw it ended badly for Pittsburgh and Oakland in losses last week. So Christensen said that they don't encourage it of the players. I haven't really seen it much this season, so maybe that message is carrying through to the offense. Christensen said one defender is enough to qualify as traffic, saying one defender is enough to do it. Traffic, anytime you're 100%, you were not 100% sure you can get across, you're better off keeping it secure. You can't take chances with the football. So it's pretty much saying if there's a defender in the way, there's a good chance the ball's getting knocked out or you're not having a clear path for the end zone and the pylon. So Christensen, who I find pretty interesting in his press conferences, doesn't encourage, like I said, the players to reach out. It's come out as a story now that Bill Belichick will bench you if you reach for that pylon, and I don't question that at all. Bill Belichick's just such a cutthroat coach, it's made him the great coach that he is, one of the best of all time. But yeah, glad none of that kind of stuff's going on with the Dolphins. I'm sure he doesn't encourage one-handed catches too, I reckon, Bill Belichick. So yeah, that's it for the news this week. One little thing I did see real quick. Damien Williams was back at practice on a limited basis, so most probably we won't see him against Kansas City, but we probably will be seeing him the last game of the season against the Bills. So Damien Williams making a comeback. Pretty much at this point, all he is just some much-needed relief for Kenyon Drake, because Kenyon Drake has just shown that he can carry the load as a 3-down back. He can run the ball like a true, dominant running back, and he can catch the ball at the backfield like a wide receiver. It's just really incredible. So yeah, that's one little tidbit there. Just some other veterans had a day off, like Cameron Wake and Ndamukong Suh. But no other major news on the injury front. Haven't heard anything about Quadratus Hankersley, that he'll be coming back this week, so hopefully we get the guy back soon. He's a really talented cornerback. Alrighty guys, that's it for this video. Don't forget, as always, fins up baby. See you guys in the next one.